You hit the button?
Yep.
I was in the car.
What's happening, everybody? This is Jamal
Your feed is
with
black.
Altadena Talks. This is episode 377, and we actually have Toni and Brian out there live on the location for Nova Cottages site today. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Toni now, and she'll take it away.
Hello,
What happened to
hello,
Brian?
everyone. I know Brian has a feed, but something is going on with it, so I will just host it from my phone. Um, I have to answer this call.
No worries. I'll come back on real quick. All right, everybody. So we're live. Toni had to take a call real quick, and she's on the location of Nova Cottages. Are you ready now?
I've been ready. You didn't have to
Okay.
pop back in.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Uh, I just had to take a call because I'm normally on a lot cleaning lots right now, and my son called because some of the people that are supposed to be there apparently have not shown up. So I just told him they'll be there at 10. It's already 10. I'll go after here. But hello, hello. This is what, Thursday? Hi, welcome to Altadena Talks, episode 377. We're almost at our 400th episode. That is bananas to me. But on Tuesday, I hosted and had a conversation with Corinne and Caroline. Caroline.
You're right.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm saying it right. That's what I thought. And so they invited us to come out and actually see the Nova Cottage today. And so I'm super excited. We're in a beautiful location. It looks like we're in the forest, but we're actually local in Pasadena. And so we're going to have a tour today of this little beautiful cottage. It looks like a little tiny house, but which I guess you could call it tiny house cottage, whatever, but it's Nova Cottage Company. And I'm excited to see this because I've been here for a few minutes just looking and on the phone handling business, but I get to see the inside. So I'm going to turn my phone around, you guys, and we are going to take a full tour. I do want to show you that first. I'll probably ask a little bit about that as I looked earlier. But take this journey with us. Let me see if I can turn my phone around. Jamal, can you switch it over to Brian, I guess? Okay, cool. All right, so you'll see Brian's footage of us from behind and then my camera as well. But I just want to show you, this is what model of the Nova Cottage?
This is the 300 square foot studio model.
This is a studio model. Okay, so look how cute it is, you guys. Like the steps that go up, the window boxes with flowers, the rocking chairs for not just grandma and grandpa, but anybody. But I think this is super dope. I want to ask you guys some questions because I see that like looks fantastic with the siding and the windows and everything. This was a built home, right?
Yes.
But I see, what is it, about 2 feet or 3 feet above the ground? And so when these cottages are put in, would this be the normal setup
Yeah.
where it's bolted, cemented into the ground? The bolt there, well, the pylon, I guess, is cemented down, and then there's a bolt, and then people could use whatever decoration they wanted, whether it's lattice or a fence like this or whatever, to hide the base of the cottage if they wanted to, right?
Exactly. Something I definitely want to talk about as favorite parts.
Mhm.
And so we've designed it in a specific way, and we're actually revealing it now that we can show what exactly it looks like. Corinne has something called a ground screw. So again, Nova Cottage Co is to build actually affordable housing. So this includes looking at the entire home from top to bottom and reinventing it.
Okay.
So it's a completely rethought approach to prefabricated housing.
All right.
The foundation is something that we definitely don't take for granted. We want to engineer that as well. So instead of using concrete and a slab, our design here is actually this 5 foot tall ground screw that an array of 9 of them, when installed, are sufficient to withstand any of the wind loads, seismic loads, snow loads in some area, and just general weight of the house. And so we actually don't need excavation. We don't need formwork. We don't need cure time. We don't need to call a concrete truck. We can actually install this with a skid steer, a rentable piece of equipment, in a matter of hours. So,
and
here
so
we're demonstrating versions of that under this house. And we're keeping it open so that people can see. Normally, especially in fire areas, we would clad this with a cementitious fiberboard.
Okay, all the way down to the ground.
Yes.
Yeah, because it can't have, that's almost like an ember getting under an eave.
Yes,
which has to be closed off. So you don't want that open.
Yes.
Okay, so question is, this obviously screws all the way down from that skid steer, pushing down into the earth. But here I see actual cement. So do you? That's not
metal.
cement. That's
so
metal.
This is a different version of a helical pier. So it's a thinner rod with a bigger disc, and this plate helps distribute the load.
Okay, so you don't dig a hole, put this down, and then cement it in the ground. You just screw it all the way into the earth and put the plate on top, and that should be suffice to hold it in place.
Exactly. And it is approved for seismic zones like in California. Called seismic zones like D through F, so the higher load. So the lateral loading, like sideways loading, is different than how a concrete foundation does it, but they've been third-party tested, and it's something we're really excited to introduce. A lot of prefab companies, we think, and construction companies in general, kind of just take the foundation for what it is. But that is a cost that we think we need to remove in order for homes to be actually affordable. So that's, again, not something we're taking for granted at all.
So I heard you say 9. So I'm literally walking around. I see 3 on the side. These 3 back here.
Yes.
Which are, looks like about 2.5, 3 feet apart.
Yep. 9 is sufficient. These 2 here are additional ones that we're demonstrating. In some cases, the soil conditions of the home will be such that you need extra soft. So these are really simple. I mean,
I have those under my deck. I built a deck a few years ago and I have them like that. So I understand what those are,
really
but for other people.
So we're demonstrating that. Not all homes need those. It just depends on the soil conditions.
Okay, so the 9,
and the corner.
Yeah, the corner is all 4 corners plus in the middle.
So it's a
and then
grid. And this
one
is the one
yeah, and this one is not all the way down.
Nope, you install it to about 3 inches above the ground.
Okay.
And then you put a riser of whatever height you want. So another reason why the home is elevated beyond that is, well, there's legal crawl space requirements, but also something unique to Nova Cottage Co. is our mini grid system. And so the utilities, the water, power, and sewage are something that we take very seriously as well.
Okay.
And so on this unit, later this year, we're actually going to be demonstrating some of that grid technology and bringing it in. And in order to not need to excavate, we're putting it under the house.
Okay.
So that is a really compact way, again, to save money in installation while still having access to that equipment. So not all homes need to be elevated like this, but ours, this design is.
So with our earthquake-prone place and fire-prone place that we live, and now with extreme weather, we have winds, right? I'm counting because you said 9. So I want the 3 in the back, which would be 9. And then I see additional, and I know those were additional for weight distribution.
13. So we have the 9 plus 4.
So why would it not be that that's the standard in somewhere like California, right? In this area that has earthquakes, that has fires, and then now high winds. We've always had Santa Anas, which are normally between August and like November, but we're having these other wind events at any time, right? So would it be best to just go on and do 13?
Good question. So you can also add more ground screws. It's not our baseline design, but these extra 4 feet that bring us up to 13,
right?
Just for soft soils, which is the main thing that people run into when using ground screws. Is it's not the seismic, it's not the wind, it's not the snow. The most likely thing to happen is the house just sinks,
right?
Sitting on pins,
right?
So we would add these 4 for soil conditions, but the 9 already have a far more than sufficient factor of safety for all the things that you mentioned.
So what if somebody says, yeah, I saw it on the show, I want one of these as an ADU in my backyard, but I don't want 9, I want the 13, whether it's soft soil or not? You guys would just go on and accommodate.
Yes.
And would that be additional cost?
It would, no.
No, okay.
That's easy to do.
Or would it just be the cost of
literally just material.
the riser? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not that much. Okay. So now we're going to venture into this wonderful cottage. This is so cute. I promise you, I could get one of these at my house. Okay, so go ahead.
I'm the mechanical engineer. That's my background. Karin is the architectural designer, so this is all her. So take it
All
from
right,
there.
let's go.
Open it.
Absolutely. I'll wait on you. And I'm to do this because normally I'm taking my shoes off.
All good. Yeah, so welcome to the Nova Cozy Cottage.
A nice little day bed.
Yeah.
It's chilly in here only because I'm always cold, but I say that because every window is open, which means it gets extremely good cross breeze and ventilation, which
Exactly.
is really, really good. And I know you
Yes.
designed it that way, I'm sure, Karin.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So we wanted to make sure that there was plenty of windows for natural ventilation and lighting. We also have these windows up top, which you could see from the outside. These are our clerestory windows.
What do you
So-
call them?
Clerestory.
Okay.
And all of them open so that in the summer,
see.
when it's really hot, you can also have
Get a
not only-
breeze.
Yeah, not only cross ventilation, but also stack ventilation, which allows the hot air to escape.
And obviously you all put this furniture in, but it does not mean that it comes furnished. So people could do whatever, if they wanted a couch here that is, like this is a day bed, right? Which is good and it has storage. But if they wanted a couch that pulls out or a Murphy bed on this wall,
Yeah.
right? Because then it would be probably not even as wide as this. Murphy beds are usually fold down for their bed, but in the day it would be up and they could still have a couch.
Yeah.
So there's tons of options.
It's very versatile. We want to keep the living / bed space open.
Yeah.
for reconfigurability. So, you know, we've demonstrated this with standard furniture that can, so the table can also, you know, get smaller. The bed can actually expand to become a king size bed. But everything that you see here is movable and replaceable,
Right.
except for the kitchen and the bathroom, which come installed.
Okay. And I like that you put one of these dividers. Well, it's like a bookshelf turned on its side,
Yeah.
but they come this way and people could have something on this side that, you know, makes it more of the living area. And even if they want, have something here that's like for the kitchen area, right?
Exactly, yeah. And it's
So this is what standard that comes with it.
Yes, yeah, this is our standard furniture package, so
Okay.
we call it a kitchenette.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a sink, 2 burners, stovetop,
Okay.
and
I didn't even see
a
that.
refrigerator. This is a smaller fridge, but
Mhm.
the actual design of record will include a
A larger full size. Okay. And then nice shelving.
nice shelving. We have our open shelving here. In the design of record, it'll be closed shelving, so there'll be a lot more enclosed like space that you can.
Now, is that an option? Meaning if somebody said, no, I actually want open?
That is an option.
Okay, but if not, it would be a couple cabinets that are closed off here so they
Yes.
could have shelves and storage space
Yeah,
there.
More
Okay.
storage, 'cause we
And
realized-
look at the little vent hood with the light.
Exactly, yeah.
Nice.
Um,
Very nice.
We also, yeah, so bathroom,
Wow, this is a full size bathroom.
yeah.
Like a full 3-piece with the sink. This is a beautiful floating sink that has nice drawers for storage.
Yes, 36-inch shower,
Yeah,
and bathroom.
that's a full shower.
Yeah.
Really nice. Oops, let's see if I can close it. Okay, there, I got it. A full toilet, not a little nothing, and a little cabinet for some storage in the bathroom with good shelving. Oops, and then I saw the screen in there. You guys better put it up before you get bugs. And yet another window.
Yes.
So more ventilation.
More ventilation. We really prioritize the livability of this unit.
Like
So
those.
anywhere that we could stick a window, we stuck a window.
Yeah.
To the point where it might be too many windows, but we really think it elevates the space and makes it into a home. So there's also, you know, we've left space where, you know, space on the walls where you can either hang paintings, a TV, you can put a wardrobe here. So we wanted to still make it so that whoever moves in here can make it their own, even though we have catalog options for the structure of the studio cottage.
Mm-hmm. Now
Um,
this is the studio, 300 square feet.
Right.
Not too bad. Like a college student, I couldn't see living in it. I need like a big house, but that's me with all my stuff. But this would be great. Like I said, ADU, one person. And then I know we talked yesterday about there's an option that would have stairs that go up right here. And that open space that we see now would actually be a loft
Yes.
bed. So it would probably come down a little bit more or whatever.
The roof angle would change a little bit. So that
Got
you
it.
could you couldn't stand up straight in it, but
Right.
you can kind of crawl.
All right.
And that's a place that can fit a queen sized bed. And then, yeah, there'll be stairs to access it. This is actually,
And what size is that one?
that one is 450 square feet.
And then what's the largest one?
That is actually our largest.
Oh, okay. So there's either this studio or law. Yeah, I think if it were me, I'd probably turn the table up against so there's more walking room, but because it could be used as a desk. And then if you want it, but that's the beautiful thing about it being versatile and you can just put whatever in it. So these are the actual models. This is the one we're currently in, the studio. Okay. And then nice. Ah, okay, I see. So it is much bigger.
Just put the mic.
Mm.
Right here.
Jamal, switch the mark in.
Something at it.
Mm.
You're good.
Okay, perfect. We're good.
So yeah, nice. Okay, so I want to just see this, which is where we are, right?
Yes.
So that's the bathroom. Refrigerator. No dishwasher. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so just kidding saying that. I was gonna say you probably could, yeah.
Yeah.
Or and then they could put a microwave or that mini oven.
The one bedroom does have a plan for a dishwasher.
Oh, I see.
Full burner.
Wow, with 4 burners, yeah.
And washer dryer. So
Oh, and
that's
look at
basically a
the
much larger
closet
kitchen,
space.
big closet. So and yeah, that's the 450 square foot model. So
And this bed, is this the loft?
no, the loft is actually the bed
On
would be
top of
like
that.
here in this model. And this
Uh-huh.
is
Oh,
Bathroom,
over the
like
bathroom and closet. Got it. Okay. But really neat. And the bathroom is basically the same in both because it's 34 square foot. So it's the exact same and same location. So this is extended out, the kitchen and the living area. So they literally could have, oh, and then it's a full bedroom. So they don't have to worry about Murphy bed. It's a couch and they could have all their entertainment. So that's really neat.
The goal is to be the most affordable to own, the easiest to permit, and the fastest to build. And so that's why we focus so much on having a set catalog where the structure doesn't change and the difficult parts and the things that you need to do all the analysis for is always the same, but it allows the maximum amount of flexibility for people living in it. And so that's why we can accommodate a lot of different customers. And so like you were saying, for students, I mean, this is pretty sick dorm, right?
Who are you telling?
For seniors, we think would be great. And our customers that we normally work with, as we were mentioning a little bit on Tuesday, are people who own land but want to use it for housing. So it's underutilized in some way. And so that's a decent amount of the land in Altadena. That's church land. That's the cities and counties like own land that they don't know what to do with. And it's too expensive to build housing, although they would love to.
Yeah.
And so the goal for this again is to build them in cottage communities that brings the cost and timeline down. And so right now we could build this unit for 1/5 of the price and in 1/5 of the time as compared to traditional construction. And that's like day one. And so we even want to bring it down till it's like, you know, a 5-digit number to get the whole.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is a little steep right now, just because it would be, I think you said 200,000 for this model or something. And
it's a lot.
You're
less than a
competing.
Terrible option. Like even in any other sized ADU, we believe it's the most affordable home that one can get in Southern California, period. So most people are not pricing the all in, but when we say 200,000, that is the pre-engineering, it's the fees, it's the utility connections, it's the land, you know, the site work, it is all of that. And so it's still more than a person should pay, you know, for a home. That's why as a startup, like we are aiming for what we think the true cost of a home should be when you've cut all the unnecessary stuff away. So that's why we're saying we're rethinking housing from the ground up. So we're not going to stop. Like 200K is where we're starting. That's not where we're ending. We're going even.
Yeah, I would hope not, because I've, and I know you all have seen this too. Obviously you have competitors. There's Boxable, right? And they're like, oh, our casitas are 50,000. Now that's the casita price, but I know that's not all in because you got to factor in the permit and all of that, right? But but it still, I think, is maybe 125 or something like that. And then I know that people are like, oh, you can get, you know, almost this size of a tough shed type thing and do it yourself, right? The DIY one. But it's nice that someone could say, okay, I want to go with this. I'm telling you, for young adults or something. And, you know, there's so many, because our country is so unaffordable right now, that I read something, a report not long ago that talked about a lot of after college students in their young 30s are moving back home with their parents.
Yep.
And their parents were like, I thought you were gone. Like, why are you back? Right. So if you have the land in your backyard and your kid needs to live there, but you don't want them in your house as you know, adult parents, this would be perfect. Because they can come and go as they please, because it's their own place, right? And then could people get like a construction loan, even though it's not constructing it from the beginning, or whatever type of loan, so that they could say, well, we'll put this in the backyard, but you're going to pay for it, right? Because it's your place. I think that would be great.
It definitely qualifies for construction to permanent loans.
Okay.
The same way that an ADU would.
Okay, good.
It also qualifies for like a mortgage. It is just a standard home. And so even though we're using this technology, we haven't even gotten to the wall panels yet. That's one of the reasons why it felt cold when we walked in, like, you know.
Oh,
So yeah, let's actually take a look at that.
Yeah,
But even though we're using things like that in the foundation, and it's unique, it's still qualified as a permanent home. So again, we think even now.
Yeah, let's chat.
People here. And I was at the extra town hall meeting that they had last night
Mhm.
in the collaboratory,
Mhm.
and people were mentioning why there's so many ADUs being built in Altadena. I think I heard that there are 1,400 ADU applications, which is like half the number of home applications. So like basically every other home, right, is building an ADU. And
which is great.
which is fantastic.
Yeah,
And
if that's
were
what
saying
people
that's,
want to
like,
do.
that's what was already in the community, were
Correct.
people renting to basically family members
Yep.
or friends in maybe zero.
There were garage
Like,
conversions that weren't legally permitted. There were some that were a second house that was smaller, or an ADU or whatever on it. And so that's why I said these would be great for that. But I do want to talk about this, because I walked around here when I was saying, or they could have something kitchen. I saw it, and you spoke about this on Tuesday.
Right.
So as the engineer in you, talk about, now, is it put together this way when it's cut and comes from the factory? Like a puzzle, right? Okay, let's talk about that.
These are structural insulated paint, and so, or SIPs. So what these have is these skins, which are made of OSB
Mhm.
and a foam core, and
That's
they're
half
glued
inch?
together.
OSB
So
or
this is
quarter?
7/16.
Oh,
So very
7/16,
close, right?
okay.
So good eye. And then they are
I do a
cut
lot
in
of DIY.
factory to the right shape. So these came with like an angle on it,
Mhm.
and then they get slotted into each other and then screwed into place. And so what you don't have is you don't have a 2x4
Right,
spanning the inside of that house, which is a thermal bridge.
right.
And so what basically that creates is, when we're using this for the floor, walls, and roof, is a super insulated structure that's like almost passive house quality.
Okay.
So which means that we're aiming for something that actually doesn't need heating at all. Plus, it really reduces your cooling costs too. Like, homes made in this way are super insulative, and then the electricity bills are like, can be 40% lower than for a
Nice.
traditionally built home, because it just basically doesn't leak.
And that's very important, because we know with all the data centers and all the controversy around them, they pull on energy and water.
Yep.
And so I don't understand why any city, state, or whatever is allowing all these data centers to be built without saying, you're not passing this cost on to the consumer. You are required to have water tanks, or you're required to have solar that gives back to the grid, right? To me, that's the logical thing to do, but money, the way it talks.
Yeah.
So now, are these OSB
Mhm.
extra treated fire retardant when they're?
Great question.
Yeah.
So these are not, but we clad it with cementitious fiberboard that is fire retardant.
Okay.
And so the entire home in all directions is basically covered with Class A roofing, and then actually panels on the outside, and the trim is hardy board, and the windows are dual paned. And so we were mentioning on Tuesday the IBHS standard. So
Right.
the base and then the pro level. And we've gone to the pro level and actually above that.
Right. Yeah, because California is already above that. So that's the best thing about it. So where are these manufactured?
I lost the sound.
This is how you reach Nova Cottage Co. And they are. I'm sorry, I have some feedback.
Page.
Okay.
That allows you to write anything to us and let us know that you want to tour the cottage, that you want us to come look at your site. We can do site feasibility for, and we can do that virtually too, and just like give you a site plan for what your site would look like with our cottages. And we're absolutely, yes, we want to talk to anyone who wants to book these. Yeah.
And this could be a really dope playhouse.
Yeah, people have thought about it for offices and other uses.
Office,
just
playhouse,
options.
all kinds of stuff. Oh, this would be great. It's just an office for a business person that lost everything. They're going back home, rebuilding, but then they don't want their office in the house anymore. And so, boom, put this up. Their guests, you know, they could have that. They could make sure they cook coffee. I mean, make coffee or whatever. But this is all office space. I forgot all about offices, but this is a really, really nice home. And so these are not recessed lights, obviously, but that's the lighting. Is it powered up?
So this one is
Not yet.
actually not yet.
Okay.
We are installing off-grid power and off-grid water later this year. And so that's going to be a demonstration to municipalities and lawmakers that this home can actually be brought off-grid.
And
Which is
it's
convenient.
total standalone, right?
Total standalone for this one, yeah.
And what if people decide they want this, but then want to put their own solar and have a battery for it?
That is actually, the solar battery is part of our default package. And so we would offer that for sure.
Oh, okay.
So that's worked into the 200K cost I was mentioning,
Mhm.
includes a battery and solar as well.
So like this with 200K,
Mhm.
all in, it would be hooked up, brought on someone's property
Mhm.
and hooked up to their plumbing. So
Mhm.
obviously dig a new trench, put whatever, and then have an additional, thank you, sub panel. My brain was stuck and I was like thinking of amperage, but
You're exactly
an
right.
additional sub panel that would be on the outside of this.
Mhm.
And then if they had solar and a battery, it would then be put into the sub panel as well. So
Yeah.
it really is self-sustaining,
Yep.
other than being on their water.
Yeah.
But water does not cost a whole lot. And then it's
Especially for
electric, so
ADUs,
there's
it's
no,
piggyback.
yeah.
So that we're doing traditionally in Altadena, and as Karin
Yeah.
mentioned, like we definitely are taking orders in Altadena specifically because we want to do basically a bulk project. And so when we do, like, for example, 8 ADUs is what we're hoping to at
Mhm.
once. We're collecting letters of intent from Altadenas right now. And when we get to 8, we can bring the cost down for all of them by submitting them all at the same time,
Mhm.
doing all the foundations at the same time, doing all the, so it's basically like you're building in bulk, but across different people's addresses. And so
Exactly.
we think we could take a good chunk of the cost out of that just right off the bat for, like, if we're able to do them in a bulk sort of sense. So the 200K again is for the first one.
Exactly,
and that
yeah, I
home-
get that.
That is an ADU that's connected to the main home. What's really cool also is because it's piggybacked off of it, the solar and battery from the ADU will power the main home as well. And so even if the main home didn't have one, it's actually now being supported by that too.
So this is this one. So if we're talking solar, it's gonna be all over both.
Upper and
roofs.
lower. That's
Yeah,
correct.
it would have to be to do it, but so about 12 panels, maybe somewhere between 8 and 12. I mean,
Yes, maybe.
so they were solar.
Oh, there.
I have solar. I put on my roof a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, and so yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm going, yeah, it could easily be okay.
Some other pictures, I think it's gonna be hard for people to see, but this demo unit was important for us to build. So to learn how to do this. So this is how the panels arrived.
Mhm.
So this is them in all different shapes and sizes. Some of them are for the clerestory, bigger ones are for the floor,
Mhm.
and they're all labeled like Legos. And so
Nice.
then here's our crew that was putting it together. they had actually never used SIPs before. They're used to traditional framing with the 2x4s. And
Right.
so that said, on our very first try, we were able to put the walls, floor, and roof all together in 3 days, which is what they think it would have taken them actually a little bit more to do it the traditional way. So that was on the first try. And then that's it going up.
That's here. Oh,
That's
yeah.
here. That's this
the
one. Yeah, you can tell the
Yeah.
really beautiful. So we think the crew also said if they were to basically build the same structure again, they could do it in 1 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
So
Well, because the first time
Exactly.
doing something brand new, you just really never know. And you give for like, oh, we might mess this up or whatever.
Yeah.
And so this is something that
these are
is
some
we
renders
talked
that
about.
yeah, we showed.
of the
I know we showed that
community.
one on Tuesday. So this is the community, which is actually on like a 50 or 60 foot wide lot, which is kind of a sort of there's no really typical
That's
house
not
lot,
even as
but-
big as where we're at now,
No.
I think. And literally when I walked up, I was like, oh, we're in the forest. This is a beautiful lot. But I could see the way this lot is shaped.
Yeah.
There being several of them,
Mhm.
probably 6. I wouldn't go more than 6 because I'd still want to have, a little space outside. I don't want to be looking at my neighbor. But and having something like this
Yeah.
communal sitting area that people can meet up, have, I saw something out there with benches, maybe a barbecue or whatever, and then I see the panels on here now. So yeah, I guess for anybody that actually wants that,
Yeah.
and wants to be a landlord of several, or if they've got a larger family and you're talking about, there's some cultures that keep family in the same house.
Yeah, absolutely. Multi-generational.
And so I know there's Armenians, I know some Filipinos I grew up with, and it was multi-generation in one house. So if they rebuild and could have 2 or 3 or whatever, and everybody have their own, that way when you get on my nerves, I'm going to my cottage, get away from me, but they can all come together and still be family, which I think is super important, especially now because we've lost so much. And as we see people coming back, we see our community so much more close,
Right.
a lot more close knit than what it was and we already were. So
Yeah, that's the exact vision, Tony.
Yeah.
For just, providing options for people who want to live among community, but have their own space. And it's just a versatile option that doesn't currently exist, we feel. So, and we're seeing a trend in people wanting community, and this is our kind of our offer to those people.
Yeah. And again, I was at the meeting last night and people were strongly in favor of bungalow courts, and people actually came up to the mic and said, like, I have a ½ acre and what I wanted to do with it was build homes for myself and other friends of mine who are seniors who
Right.
were burned out, things
Right.
like that. And
So this would be
we want to enable them to do that. And so if you're starting from scratch, it's going to be really expensive and really time consuming.
Yeah.
But if you can use this mix of our studio and our 1-bedroom for each person, then the pre-engineering is done. The permit, it's gone through permitting in Altadena before. It's
right,
really
so it's
gonna
gonna
be
be much quicker when it's done.
and you
Yeah.
can focus on the fun stuff, which is like, where do I want to put that park bench? Where do I want the community garden?
Yeah.
Where do I want to plant the trees? The parts that make traditional construction slow, confusing, and expensive, we're absorbing all of it. We've taken all of that out of the equation.
Well, yeah, I think it's, and I know I said the other day you might get pushback, but what I'm talking pushback is 1123, right? And developers coming in, subdividing lots, and then going, oh, this would be a great option, and we're gonna sell this one and this one. But if it is one person like that owns this lot that we're on, or whatever, anyone that wants to do that, I think it would be great.
Yeah, our goal is our quality of life, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we don't want to be putting people in plain white boxes that are like crammed together, right? Like
Yeah.
that is not respectful of Altadena's dignity, and it's definitely not the Altadena that they knew. And so that said, a lot of people can't do the option that about half of Altadena is doing, which is where you rebuild what you had and 10% bigger. That's like totally not on the table for them. So how do we do both? How do we show dignity to people, allow them to return in a fast, affordable way, while understanding that they just, the traditional process is just not going to, it's just not on the table.
Now, I do have a question, because I just thought about this. Part of this whole subdividing lots and what people are so upset about, and even some ADUs, is where people going to park, right?
Mm.
So is there an option where somebody did have a ½ acre and wanted to put 4 of these up? You would also build a carport if they wanted it, or you just leave that to them and they could do it? Because if it's a large enough lot, and we see here, it's more of, you don't see any parking. We see a
Mhm.
walking pathway, right? but where would all these people park? So instead of cramming it, because that's a little bit crammed. That's 7 to 8
the
hours.
max that you could. do
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
a
Of
lot.
course, you wouldn't need to max it. But
Yeah, but
Yeah.
would it be instead of just a walking path, driveway, and then off into each person's that they could do that? Is that an option that you're building with them or working with them that you would consider?
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest issue is where all these extra people, whether it's in an ADU or whatever subdivided lots, where's the parking gonna happen? And for people that are used to, our traditional houses, and on some streets in Altadena, it's bananas. The street is this wide, right?
Right.
And there's already no parking. And so now you're talking about all these extra people. I'm thankful, like our street on Wapello on between Lake and Mount Hurt is the widest part of Wapello that there is. And we can be parked on both sides and you have a whole street in between. It's not tiny, but that would be just something that popped in my head that if you don't already have solutions for or hadn't thought about, maybe you think about it, just because we keep hearing, and you went last night,
Yeah.
I didn't, I had another obligation, but I can imagine, and I didn't want to go and hear like the town hall again with all the complaints, because yes, there are issues, but we have to solution instead of just complain. And
I
so
agree.
what I see is you all bringing a solution into Altadena, which will work as both the ADU and potentially a small community for people that want to do that on their land. But just know, like, if a homeowner speaks to you about that, go, and what is your plan for parking?
Yeah.
Only because that will come up with their neighbors, right?
And for a cottage community like this, you can absolutely work in parking. It's just, that's custom to the lot, and so you
Correct.
can't show everything there, but in a lot of cases, it is required, right? To do parking like at least one unit per single family home, and
Yeah.
so like that is absolutely something that we could do.
Is this considered a single family home?
That's a really great question. And so
For me, it's
yeah.
more considered like a ADU
Yes,
in our
it's
minds,
absolutely, it's goes straight through the permitting process as an ADU. If you call it an
Okay.
ADU, we got an over the counter plan stamp, like
Right,
literally,
I remember you
they
said
looked
that.
at a piece of paper and
Mhm.
stamped it, right? Because we have the check marks.
Yeah.
If you want to call it a single family home, the process is a little bit more complicated.
Got it.
But
So it's better to just call it an ADU.
yeah, for a single
regardless
homeowner, it's
of-
like, yeah, call it an ADU and it's like a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Okay.
I mean, but we do want to build things like this. We think that, again, these communities are great for seniors, for people who haven't been able to return to Altadena, who are burned out of their lots, like, and need something affordable to rent or even own. In that case, it's a possible, but definitely more complicated process to call it a single family.
Even better than developers buying land to build apartments in the middle of houses, which is what has
Yeah.
been a big concern as well. To be honest, because I don't want to see that, but I would much rather see something like this. And then up where my parents' lot is, we're not affected by 1123 because we're high enough up that we are extreme fire risk, high fire risk. So below us, some people, a few blocks down, they are. But I was telling my mom the other day, I said, even though we're now that, we still have to be one with the community because we are one community and support the efforts against this. Otherwise, in the future, it could potentially affect, right? But if 90% of Altadena burned down all the way down into Pasadena, it would be consider all Altadena extreme high fire risk, not, just part of it. So yeah, I think that these would be cute to drive by. And even if you're in the middle of a block, still you see and you go, oh, a cute little community or whatever, versus a behemoth of an apartment complex.
Yeah, these are, you said like an apartment in the middle of houses. These are houses in the middle of houses.
Exactly. Yeah.
By design, we designed a house that just blends in with all the rest of the houses. So. that's
Yeah,
what's
and
on.
I do like the design because you've lived in Altadena, Altadena, and super eclectic, but we'll have extremely modern houses coming up. We'll have craftsmen, we'll have Spanish looking, everything. And so it's going back to what we've always been because we've had that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what's really nice. And these aesthetically do fit into the eclectic aesthetics of Altadena. So thank you all for definitely thinking about that and not bringing in something that is horrific and will just not blend in.
No,
So
yeah.
so yeah, especially if they wind up being, in areas. I would hope that if an owner of an acre of land, 2 acres of land or whatever, but they have single family homes on the side of them chooses to do this, that they really reach out to their community first and maybe have a meeting where you all come in and say it will be a mix of the studio and the 1 bedrooms. This is what they would look like. And this is how we could do it. And then if they say, well, what about parking? We don't want all these extra cars in front of our houses. That landowner can say, okay, we'll make sure that we also put a main driveway and offshoot driveways for each cottage. So there's enough space on each, they're not crammed, there's a carport or whatever. And that their neighbors then have input and that their neighbors are pleased. Because I would hate for something like this to go up and the landowner never checked with their neighbors as a courtesy. And it's a big, huge, nightmare and protesting and all of that, because that potentially could happen. So,
I think it's about being a united Altadena, and I think that's what people were saying at the town hall. And otherwise, it's like we're in it together, And so we've gone through this absolute horrible trauma together, and now we're recovering together. And so we can't leave any Altadena behind. And so knowing your neighbors and connecting with your neighbors is something that we're going to be like the most locked in city of all time. I think it's town. You're absolutely right. Unincorporated.
I always tell people we're not a city, we're a town. And if somebody says Altadena, we're not Altadena, we are Altadena.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, okay. If there are people now that see me after 18 months and they go, oh, Altadena, if I'm around, and we just crack up laughing because they're like, oh, we forget you've been here forever and you will correct anybody. And I'm like, yes, I've corrected plenty of people, including Senator Sasha Renee Perez, when she was on the podcast and she kept saying Altadena, and I said, excuse me. I said, excuse me. With all due respect, but it's Altadena. So anyway, no, I think it's great. Super excited that you guys had us come over today. Brian, I know you're behind the camera, but is this something that you would seriously consider?
Yeah, you would have to stand up and I'd have to sit down for my 30 minutes.
All right, well, come
No,
on. You
I'm not doing that.
get a minute. No, come on. You go. Because Brian was in a home that burned down.
Oh my God.
And so we've been talking about this seriously. So Brian, tell me what your thoughts are.
Several, 3 of these on it. I've already seen it drawn out. I've already picked certain lots that are out here and used the specs and then told it, I need this, put this on.
He needs to speak louder.
And now you have a reality. See, folks, see that? So that might happen. Wait till the settlement come. I might even be able to finance the whole thing. You never know. Who's with me? I need some partners. You know what I'm saying? But this is something that I would actually do because my roommate that I rented from, she had converted a garage. But now she's building me an ADU. So I'll have that and I'll still go by this. I'll live there and I'll rent these out. That's my whole thing. But like I said, this is something that between like a renter hooking up with California Land Trust or possibly you own the land, let me get these on there and then we can figure out a way for me to buy that land back. Yeah. That's an option. And I just wrote 2 blogs about it a couple days ago on our blog, along with the blog I wrote about you guys yesterday. But the whole thing is renters are being left out of the whole conversation.
Completely agree.
Every time I look at, I'm not trying to call names out, George Ken, but every time you talk about insurance and all this, you're isolating probably 20% of the Altadena resident, that were renters. So my thing is, let's look at that as well, because I'm going to get some money. I'm going to be able to probably look at ownership. Not like I'm owning home before, but I'm at the time in my life where this is a small footprint. This is me. I would not even have a bed. This be a whole content. This over here would be a table, 2 chairs. This one over here would be cooking with Brian in the kitchen. This would be over here doing something else. But for the young adults that are looking to buy, this is perfect. Because if they can get together like 5 or 6 people and say, look, let's buy this land and let's start off with one, then we can get another one, and then pretty soon they have a community that they can call their own.
And not even just the young adults, Brian, you just said it, the renters that want to come back to Altadena and can't maybe afford to purchase land at $600,000, $700,000, $1 million on their own, but they come together as community, buy it, agree to however that's going to be paid, buy the land and put these that each of them would own. And then they'd have to figure out their own, I hate HOAs, but their own sort of, exactly, making sure everybody is pitching in. Exactly. Yeah. So that might just be something viable that renters who obviously are like, we can't even think about coming back to Altadena,
No, that's
right? And have a bunch of the 1-bedrooms. Yeah.
I mean, I was an uninsured renter, and if my home had, I'd be so out of here. Like, I'd be so out of it. Like, I wouldn't. There's no. Who's making a home for me? You know.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
I feel very strongly about that.
And that was the main thing about hearing everything. If we didn't have this podcast, we wouldn't even be bringing it to light now. You know, not now, but throughout the whole time, because you got homeowners and you got renters. And thank goodness I was part of the renters team, because I know how renters feel. You know, being left out and everything. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm gonna jump back behind.
All right. Yep. I was going to say, you're done. One of the things I wanted that you just, slightly talked about or whatever, and you being uninsured. When I tell you, it drives me crazy hearing that people didn't have insurance. Because I have 4 children, and the 3 that have their own places, I have said, you make sure you get renter's insurance no matter what, right?
No kidding.
Right, because you never know what's gonna happen. And then, for us, fortunately, I'm a veteran, my father's a veteran, I have a nephew that's in the Air Force now. And so we all have USAA, who is a phenomenal insurance company and has taken care of all of us. Even my sister, who was renting her townhome, had it, but she was, she's been well taken care of. So definitely everybody, please get insurance. And even if you buy this, it will qualify for homeowners insurance. If you rent it, if there is a community, like my brain, even the other day started going about, okay, how would they do this and how would we do this? And then my thoughts about the carport and the driveway and all that. So I could definitely see it happening. I know that I have talked to a couple realtors, one that was selling the Webster's property.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh no, I have a couple people, but it's still for sale today. And I argued with her and she was like, oh, we have developers want to buy it and put up apartments. And I said, really? I said, 3-story apartments? And she was like, well, no, it'll probably be 6 or 7 story. I said, it can't be. We have Altadena community standards. You can't go higher than 3. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I've been a realtor for 35 years. I live in South Pasadena. I said, right, you're not an Altadenian, so you don't know about our Altadena community standards. You have to do. So then she checked into it and called me the next day and apologized, like, oh my God, thank you for telling me that, because I need to let these developers know their plan is not going to do for Altadena. And then even the ones where the old Rite Aid was, it's like, we want to tear it all down and build apartments. I said, it's not zoned for that. I said, that is zoned for commercial. Yes, there's apartments on the side of it and on the back on Pine or whatever, but that lot is not zoned for that. Mm-hmm. I said, and that's going to take going to the town council, rezoning, asking the community. I said, right now our community is in a major uproar about developers coming in and doing stuff. So sometimes these developers who aren't from here, who are from out of state, think, oh, we can just go in and do this.
Right.
And when you let them know, no, you can't.
Copy paste a solution. You have to understand Altadena.
You really do.
We're right in the middle of it. I mean, we founded Nova Cottage Co a year before the fires, and that's about the time that I moved out.
It's so amazing.
And then it's like it happened literally in our own backyard. Like, she had to evacuate. I obviously had to evacuate. Like we thought we were actually, and this isn't happening, right? So there was one point in time where I was like, am I gonna lose my home and the home I just built? I was like, that's terrible. So it's like we're in the middle of this, and so like that's why right after the fire, like we went to as many places as we could to be like, how are people discussing the rebuild? Because like it literally couldn't affect us more. And so that's completely different than the developer that thinks they're gonna put the same solution that they've done in a bunch of other places here. It's not.
And we don't want to be there. And a lot of the developers come in like, oh, we want to have this planned community. No, we're not doing that. We've never been a planned community that was all the same, other than Lavinia, after old Lavinia was gone and they built that, but then that was, that. But I want to talk a little bit about, I know that how you founded it, but your collaboration with, I believe it's Ideal Lab?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, please tell me a little bit about that.
Go for it.
Because I forgot to ask that on Tuesday.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We were founded in Ideal Lab, which is a startup incubator that was started 30 years ago. Their 30th anniversary is this year. Founded by founded by Bill Gross, who is a very successful entrepreneur, and has started the incubator started over 175 companies at this point, with over 50 IPOs. And we're their housing company. So we are kind of unique in among the companies that are there right now. And we have this immense support from them to be able to do housing that's in a way that's never been done before, in a way that's very scalable and keeps the houses very livable and affordable. So we're very lucky to have Ideal support. And so essentially what happened is that Bill approached the two of us, brought us together on this project. So we didn't know each other before. We founded the company.
Oh, so you guys are fast friends. Became best buddies. So
We're
last
really
couple years,
yeah.
with the fire hydrant, right?
And Caroline had been volunteering with her church to feed the unhoused, as she mentioned, for over a decade. And I had just finished my architecture degree and have been focused, like locked in on housing for the whole time I was studying architecture. Finished my degree having designed and built with a team the first 3D printed house in Southern California. So that taught me a lot about just construction in general and how to implement innovative construction methods into housing specifically because, like we said, there's in California, there's 2.5 million housing shortage, which means that we just have to scale very drastically in a way that's never been done before. And so this is our solution to do that. And with a mechanical engineer and architecture background, we think we have a good team to be able to do that.
That's only one part of it though. I mean, there's we also need the people who own the land, so that we basically turn empty land into a home that people can live in. So we go from the dirt to the keys.
Yeah.
But there's all the parts like before and after that. So it really is like a teamwork and a partnership. And we've also learned that there's so many more parts to like running a business that is not included in our architecture and mechanical background. So that's where Ideal Lab support is super critical, and that they have like the accounting, the IT, the finance team, the facilities team. So really what that allows us to focus on is one of their portfolio companies is like what we do best is the housing. And so I've been working at other Ideal Lab companies and really appreciated the way that they look for a problem. Again, not a thing that's gonna like what is this hot right now, like what is all this but like what is the problem that we see in our daily lives, and can we assemble a team that's going to address that in a completely new and technological way? And so for Bill it was like literally homelessness. Like, why can't we seem to build houses for people who need houses? And is there a technological way to address that? So again, there's lots of other aspects to the whole problem, but this is how we're addressing it, and we think we do have a solution that can really work.
And I think for me, because I am a veteran, I would love for some billionaire funders to say, we want this for our veterans. Because there's way too many on the street.
Yes.
Some of them, because when you go in the military, especially if you go to war, you're coming back with some form of PTSD, even if you don't go to war. But they're building a whole tiny house community in West LA right now. I would love for them to be these, because then these veterans are right there on the grounds of the medical center where they go and get their treatment and their health, but they have dignity. Anybody living in this that was previously homeless, they have everything, their kitchen, their bathroom, and they have their dignity. And that's what I think that as human beings, the part of humanity that is missing, right? There shouldn't be anybody living on the streets. But then when they do these street sweeps and go and with the, shovels and stuff and pick up and trash everything that these people have, you've now taken away their dignity. Because even if they were living in a tent, they had something that was theirs.
Right.
And so this is a way better solution. And I think that, when we have billionaires trying to destroy the world, this would be such a much better way to put their money towards. And this could go everywhere. I could see these on college campuses as dorms. I could see this in place of senior apartments. If you have the land, granted, sometimes you need the apartments because you need tons of them. But lots of land, have these for veterans, just people in general, which is really good. Because I've seen some of the tiny homes that are probably half this size and don't have a bathroom. It's enough room for a bed and something. And that's not as dignified, because now I have to leave and go share a community restroom. Where here, I can have my own bathroom. I can have my own, or whatever. And then you could put blinds or whatever and have that privacy and that dignity. So I really like this idea. Idea Lab, if you're listening and watching, I hope you are today, but this was a great, what's his name? Gross? Bill Gross. This was a great company for you to get behind and help them learn about running the business side. I'm going to also talk to Idea Lab and you all, because it's your second time on. We'll go out when you have these being built or, in the future and bring you back on and go live. But if you ever want, you guys or Idea Lab want to sponsor the Altadena Talks podcast, let us know. And you will literally have a banner that goes across the screen with your website, your contact information, whatever we're doing monthly. We have one going on right now with, he can tell you. I think it's Nadric Law. Yeah, I had to think of who it was.
She's been out in the fields, yeah, seen the screen in quite some time. Thanks, she cleans up nicely because I've been seeing her in dusty stuff for the last 3 weeks.
Now, because then you would be out there with us, right? Whether we're in the field on the lots, your name could be on one of the signs, your name would be on a banner. And so that we could help and partner with you all to get people very much interested and sending them to your website. So if you all or Idea Lab think that you want to do a sponsorship or a partnership with us, we're always up for that.
So we have a question from Marcus. He says, are there options to have a ramp instead of stairs?
Absolutely, yeah. So
For ADA.
exactly,
Mhm.
yes. The model that we have right now is elevated for reasons. We're gonna install a mini grid
Right.
on this unit, but we can absolutely install the house much lower to the ground, and of course, ramp instead of stairs is an option. We also have a fully ADA compatible unit. This one, it would just require making the bathroom a little bit larger.
Right.
But otherwise, it's very.
Because the door has to be wide enough for a wheelchair to get in, the bathroom has to be wide enough for it to fully turn around and come out. And
Yeah,
that
like a
door
horse
is there.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then what I just realized, there was a pocket door
Yes.
on this bathroom, and I love that because, oh wow. Brian, can you bring that over here?
No.
Yes, James. They have like total privacy. I don't know why I didn't see it when I was going in because I was filming, but that's a whole pocket
Space
door.
saving measure. So.
Yeah, I love pocket doors. Uh-oh. Did I lock it? Oh, here, I might have locked it. That would not be funny.
Yeah, now they have complete privacy again.
Right.
Well, we might need, my nails are also.
Yeah, a screwdriver or something, or a
We can.
it's almost like you gotta lift it, Brian, because I think the part that I pulled open,
Got hooked weird.
got hooked on there. Yeah. But you guys will do it.
Somebody's like, do not disturb.
Leave it to me to talk about the pocket door and tear something up. But
Yeah, I did say no.
I'm really glad we came. I really am.
Enjoy having this here.
I'm not a skeptical person, or I'm very optimistic instead of pessimistic. And I wasn't skeptical about it, but I was like, let's go see what this is.
Yeah.
And so really, really glad that we came, that you all invited us. And I hope that it is beneficial for some in our community to take advantage of if this is their way of getting home.
Yeah.
Back to Altadena home.
100%. We double down on that. So.
Well, thank you. I think that's the end of our segment for Toni Talks. I know we've been going about an hour, and I know that you all will continue with the announcements and all of that. Is there any last minute takeaways that either of you have that you want to tell our audience?
I think you nailed it, Toni. I think it's about the dignity of Altadena. And you were mentioning the veterans. I just wanted to return to that quickly because that's something we think about a lot. And like, you know, the homes for people that are super expensive and they don't even have a bathroom. We want to take the money out of the things that you don't see, the infrastructure,
Right.
make that efficient and put that into parts that you do see and the parts that are livable. So that is part of our unique unified system. And so I just wanted to, again, like double tap that point is like, that's exactly the thinking we have, is that people should have more. And so that's what we're designing. So
One last parting thought. Marcus says 3 things. Very nice design. Thanks for being community oriented in your designs, and thanks so much for the demo.
Thank you. Anybody else watching? Yeah. No,
And our website, if anyone wants to contact us, is novacottage.com/contact. I think we'd love to hear from.
That's the takeaway. NovaCottage.com. So I know it's 300 square feet on the inside, but how much of a pad do you need on the outside? The exact same or just a little bit bigger to put each of these on?
You need 5 feet from the wall out is the setback for an.
That's right, because it would be just like the 0 and all of that, the zone 0 and all that, which is
5 feet on each side.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna say toodles, you all. I know that.
That's 1 hour exactly.
Wow. I'm gonna say toodles because I have to now go to some lots, which you all know I live on nowadays. And but I will see.
Supervisory capacity today.
And I will see, yeah, because I'm not dressed for being on lots training today. But thank you all for watching and seeing this. I won't even call it a demo. This amazing walkthrough today at the Nova Cottage Co. I hope they get the balcony door open now, but I unlocked it.
My designs, there's no way to use it right now.
And tonight, there are 2 things that you may see me at since they're across the street from one another. The Jazzy Jam Thursday in the courtyard thing at the Paseo.
Live music.
And, yeah, live music and the dinner for LA Fire Justice at the Civic Center. So I'm gonna say toodles, y'all. They'll probably stay on for a minute, Jamal and Brian, and do the announcements, but everybody have a wonderful Thursday.
Jamal will stay on. I'm shutting it down.
Okay, good. So the live feed is over, you all. Stay with Jamal and have a great Thursday. Take care.
Peace.
Good you.
All right, everybody. Well, that was Nova Cottages. That was the on-site kind of walkthrough of their cottages. So thank you, Toni. Thank you, Brian, for actually presenting, and Corinne, and oh my gosh, what is the other young lady's name? I so feel bad. Where is it? Hold on. I got it. Corinne and Caroline. All right. Thank you both for showing us your cottage. That's going to be a great option for many people for rebuilding and considering, having some small locations for, like maybe some family members or, like some elderly folks, some family members who need a little spot, or it could be for some kids, it could be an office, all kind of different stuff. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the announcements. There are a couple I definitely want to do, so that's why I'm doing it kind of late. But this segment is brought to you by Altadena Fire Law. Are you impacted by the Eaton Fire? Well, don't wait. Protect your rights today. If you haven't hired a fire lawyer yet, visit altadena.com and complete your claim form now. Get a free consultation with no upfront costs and no fees unless you win. Visit altadena.com and take action today. And with that, I will do this. All right, so I'm delighted to start today with the announcement that FEMA has actually extended their services, basically thanks to advocacy of Governor Newsom and California congressional delegation, local leaders, and community partners. Thousands of families will have more time and stability as they rebuild their homes and their lives. So the extension includes for homeowners, the financial housing assistance is extended through July 9th of 2027. So it's about a year longer. And then for renters, the financial housing assistance is extended through October 9th of this year. So it's extended an additional 3 months. Hold on one second. All right. So then next, want to go over that the deadline to accept SBA disaster funds. So residents and businesses are urged to apply by the 30th of June, which is the deadline for LA fire survivors. You can complete the process of executing and accepting your disaster loans by visiting my SBA loan portal. scheduling an appointment at appointments.sba.gov or visiting a local recovery center for in-person assistance. Additional information is available at sba.gov/disaster. So again, this is for people actually claiming the money that they've already signed up for through the SBA. All right, the Freedom Shop put on by Project Passion is for Eaton Fire survivors. It is available by appointment only on Saturdays from 9 to 12 at 1609 Navarro Avenue in Pasadena. To set up your appointment, please go to the calendly.com/Project Passion Inc. or by scanning the QR code on the screen. All right. Then we have LA Fire Justice is putting on their community rising dinner with the slogan, "Our lawsuit is your power, a collective act of justice." It's happening tonight at the Pasadena Civic Center, Hall C. The address is 300 East Green Street in Pasadena. The doors open at 5:30 with the dinner beginning at 6, followed by the presentation at 6:30. And then there'll be resource tables following the presentation. Parking is free and families are welcome. We'll actually be broadcasting live from that event as well tonight. All right. So Dina Heals has a women's healing circle today from 6 to 8 p.m. It is at the Paseo Outdoor Mall at 300 East Colorado Boulevard, Suite 151 in Pasadena. Join them for a women's healing circle, space to gather, share, connect, and hold one another in community. You can RSVP at tinyurl.com/D as in Dina, H as in heels, -women's circle. Just a second. All righty. Sorry about that. Had a little noise in the background, trying to get that quieted. So tonight is the first of the Jazzy Jam Summer Series concert. It's at the Paseo Courtyard at 300 East Colorado Boulevard. The pre-show is at 6 p.m. with the actual main show beginning at 7. The live performances will be on the main stage with G-Mac and Asia Ray featuring THC, which is the Hottest Cats. And the pre-show performance is going to be Roy McCurdy's Quartet featuring Ricky Woodard, Mike Goralo, and Bill Cunliffe. There'll be DJ T3. There'll be a wine bar with cold drinks, mocktails, and refreshing sips and more. No outside alcohol is permitted. Seating is free. And there will be food by Chef Marilyn. It's going to be barbecue plates with pork ribs, chicken, baked beans, potato salad, greens, and peach cobbler. They're asking a $30 donation for each plate. To register, please scan the QR code also to donate. And if you want to, if you want reserved seating, you can go to jazzyjamfoремpowerment.org. And then tomorrow we have the Altadena Revealed monthly lecture series and social hour, the event number 11, No Time to Wait for the Muse to Strike. In conversation will be Nikki High and Linnell George. Takes place tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Eaton Fire Collaboratory at 540 West Woodbury Road. Then on Saturday, Dina Heals has free yoga guided by Yancey Cummins. Saturday, the 27th, doors opening at 9, class beginning at 9:15. Again, Paseo Outdoor Mall, 300 East Colorado Boulevard. This is Suite 151, and yoga mats are provided and walk-ins are welcome, but it is suggested that you RSVP. Please do so by going to bit.ly/D as in Dina, H as in heels -yoga. This next one I definitely want to kind of focus on. Now, one of the other flyers when I do the whole announcement is for the Calasis Mortgage Fund. They're actually having a workshop to help people with this. It's happening on Saturday from 10 to 12. Sorry, from 10 to 12. It's going to be at the Altadena Community Center at 730 East Altadena Drive in Altadena. Just as a reminder, you can get up to a year's worth of mortgage payments. Help is available if homeowners are current on their mortgage, in forbearance, or behind on their payments, and funds never have to be repaid, and it's free to apply. So to register for this workshop, please scan the QR code or go to calassist.eventbrite.com. Also on Saturday will be the latest edition of the Grief Party, a grief and loss vision board experience hosted by Dr. Tamitra Clark. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at Deliverance Tabernacle Church, located at 1299 Sunset Avenue in Pasadena. Come receive support and healing as you gain tools to embrace the pain, honor the loss, and live intentionally, giving your grief a place to live and not hurt. If you want to register, please call 626-328-2294. And to sponsor or donate, please Zelle to the number 626-399-6784. All right, there'll be a design fair, so come together to create your future community. This design fair on Fair Oaks will host business pop-ups and rebuild visualization stations so you can see a way forward. It's going to be this Saturday it'll be from 12 to 4 at Fair Oaks Burger, located at 2560 Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. Restore, which is San Gabriel Valley's Habitat for Humanity store, is having a summer spree and sale and a way that you can save. It's happening this Sunday from 9 to noon. The location is 32 North Sierra Madre Boulevard in Pasadena. To RSVP, you can scan the QR code or go to bit.ly/summer-save-event. So join them for a special community shopping event for Eaton Fire survivors at this Pasadena Restore, created to support your rebuilding journey and help families restore home essentials. You'll be able to learn more about returning to Altadena, Habitat's rebuild program, and your rebuilding option and next steps. The first 100 attendees will receive free specialty coffee from Swift Brew. There'll be $300 gift cards available for new shoppers. And if you already have a voucher or your gift card, this is a great opportunity to maximize it with high quality items for your home. And lastly, there will be free home items being provided while they last, such as air fryers, dish sets, razors and hair stylers, headboards, mattress protectors, and mattress pads, as well as sheet sets. So definitely check this out if you're trying to get those supplies for your home. A couple more slides. Pasadena Rosebud Academy is having Stand Up for Students event. It's a comedy show fundraiser. All proceeds will support Rosebud's rebuild. It's taking place Sunday, July 12th at 5:30 p.m. at the Alex Theater, which is at 216 North Brand Avenue or Brand Boulevard in Glendale. To get your ticket, please scan the QR code on the screen. All right, as we had alluded to earlier, Toni had not been on the show for quite some time because she is heading this initiative, the Neighbors Helping Neighbors Yard Cleanup Initiative, where there's a series of volunteers, both from the community and those that are supporting the community, to rid the lots that have been burned down of the overgrown weeds. It's not gardening, landscaping, tree trimming, or tree removal. Again, it is just simply removing the weeds that have overgrown. We've done, well, as of yesterday, it was over 70, so I'm pretty confident it'll be close to 80, if not over 80 already. If you'd like to add your property to the list that will be cleaned up, please scan the purple QR code, or you can go to altadenatalks.org/yard cleanup request. If you'd like to be a volunteer, please scan the orange QR code or go to altadenatalks.org, yard cleaning volunteers. We need as many volunteers as we possibly can every single day. And if you do add your property to the list, then on the day your property is going to be clean, we ask that you show up and actually assist, give some sort of support to those who are out of their own kindness, helping to clean your lot. If you physically can't be there due to some ailment or physical limitation, or if you're out of town, please have a family member or someone or a friend to represent you on that particular day. And lastly, the green QR code is for donations. You can also go to altadenatalks.org/yard cleanup donation. All donations help this initiative continue, helps replace equipment that may have been broken or gotten old and for whatever doesn't work, batteries to work these, all the other tools, rakes, shovels, trash cans, yard bags, goggles, gloves, also some water and other liquids to help keep everybody hydrated, as well as some snacks to keep them nourished while they're helping out. So we appreciate everyone who's volunteered and donated in the past, and appreciate your assistance on this moving forward. And this is going to continue because we have over 260 homes now on the list. And like I said, I think we're around that 80 homes mark that have been cleared. So we're making some progress, and that is in huge part to Toni, who's actually been out there every day for the past 3 weeks. I think this is the third week. All right. And the last slide for today is actually the slide for Brian's brainchild of the Altadena Wellness and Recovery Series. This is part 3, taking place on Saturday the 18th from 11 to 4. It's at the Fraternal Order of the Eagles, located at 455 East Woodbury Road in Altadena. There's going to be free smoothies, a gaming truck, raffle prizes, gas cards, live entertainment by Geometry, legal panel, builders panel, and a mental wellness panel that hasn't been added to this slide, but that will be there. There'll be free games for the kids, courtesy of Park on the Move, Altadena. To register, please go to altadenatalks.org/ATF events. If you have questions, you can email them at info@np.altadenatalks.org, or you can call or text at 626-344-0279. Now, the registration it says for vendors on this slide, but it's for vendors, those who want to support or donate or sponsor, as well as those who actually want to attend. It's the same link. You get to choose which one you want to do. And if you are interested in being a vendor, it is $125 for this event by itself, or you can simply pay $300 for this and the remaining 2 events. You'll be provided with a 10 by 10 booth space, access to the attendees, and opportunity to promote your products, services, and community resources. You will need to bring your own canopy, tables, chairs, and supplies. There'll be limited power available. Space is limited and available on a first-come, first-served basis, and no law firms are eligible for the vendor participation because we're proudly sponsored by Nadrick Law, which is Dena Fire Law. So we want to thank them for their sponsorship, as well, again, for thanking the Fraternal Order of the Eagles for allowing us to have this event and all these this event series at this location. All right. Now, I know that was long. Appreciate you guys' patience there. This today was episode 377. For those who are just tuning in, we were live from the Nova Cottages site, showing off their sample of a home, their cottage, and it was really nice. If you want to check those out, go to novacottage.com. It is on the screen right now. Hope you had a great Thursday, or what Toni likes to call Friday Junior. Tomorrow is Friday, so tune in tomorrow. We'll talk about what's happening over the weekends, and hope you guys have a great rest of your Thursday. And again, tune in later on today, because we'll be going live from the event, that dinner, the LA Fire Justice's dinner tonight is at the Civic Center. All right, everybody, have a great Thursday. Tune in tomorrow. We'll see you then. Take care.